Hello, good morning. How are you? Well, in the last class we discussed about the concept of technology, and we agreed that technology is a cultural concept, a cultural artifact that makes our life better. So, under this point of view, language, music, art, or laws could be considered as technologies. Then we talked about information and communication technologies, which are particular technologies developed during the last 60 or 70 years, thanks to the development of computing science and telecommunications. At the center of these new technologies, there is the internet. Remember that any technological revolution has a main invention. For instance, the Industrial Revolution had steam machine. So in the case of information and communication technologies revolution, we have the internet. So today we will talk about the origin of this network of networks, which is the internet, and the technologies which have made possible its existence. So at the beginning of the 1960s, an agency called ARPA, which are the initials of Advanced Research Projects Agency, belonging to the American Department of Defense, wanted to wanted to connect strategical computers located in different parts of the country, in different parts of the United States. The main purpose of this project was not military. They were worried about security. They wanted to make connections, they wanted to connect people in a secure way. Remember that it was 1960s, so there was the peak of the Cold War, and there was the possibility of a military attack that could affect one of those strategical computers. There was a possibility of a breakdown also, so it was very important to maintain the security of the data stored in all these strategical computers. To make this joining, to make those connections, they could have decided to build up a structure similar to the television or the radio networks, with a big central, with a big sender and different receivers. But this was not secure enough, so instead they decided to take the model of the telephone networks. In fact, they used telephone networks to make the connections, to make the transmission of information between the different computers. Well, the father of this first communication network, this first computer network, was called Joseph Licklider, who was an important American engineer who made important contributions to computing science. For example, he developed one of the first operating systems, which was the precedent of Unix, or he, for instance, invented several programming languages, such as Lisp, which was very famous during the 60s and the 70s. And of course, he invented the distributing computer system, which was the precedent, the base, which was the base of the internet. This first network, this first computer networks, was called the ARPANET, and it was in use until 1983. This year, the internet was a reality. There were thousands of computers connected in a big international network in all the world. And the internet has been possible thanks to the development of different standards that make possible the connection between different kinds of computers. When we are talking about computing and telecommunications, standards are usually called as protocols. So the main communications protocols which are still used today are TCP/IP, are called TCP/IP, which are the initials of Transfer Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. Well, thanks to Internet Protocol, a message could be divided into small packets codified in binary digits. Each of these packets belonging to one message is identified with a unique number called IP number. This number, in fact, is a set of four three-digit numbers separated with dots and situated in the header of each of these packets. And it makes possible to identify that each of these packets belong to a unique message. These packets could be transmitted by different pathways, and thanks to the TCP protocol, to the Transfer Control Protocol, these packets arrive in a secure way and with the right order to the receiver. So the TCP/IP, these two protocols confer the internet its decentralized structure and its distributed architecture. Distributed architecture implies that there's no boss in the network. Every element of the network has the same importance, the same weight. Well, the second feature, apart from the distributed architecture of the internet, is the interactivity. If every part, every element of the network has the same weight, the same importance, the interactivity is much more easy to reach. And the third aspect, the third feature of the internet is the combination of synchronic and asynchronic communication. Synchronic communication is the communication established in the same time, and asynchronic communication is communication established at different moments, at different times. So internet allows to combine these two kinds of communication. For instance, when we send a WhatsApp message, we are establishing an asynchronic communication. But when we are making a phone call, we are making a synchronic communication. So through the internet, we could make these two kinds of communication. So resuming, the three features of the internet are distributed architecture, interactivity, and combination of synchronic and asynchronic communications. So apart from these main protocols, TCP/IP, relating to communications. There are other protocols regarding contents, the contents that could be transmitted through the network, through the computer network. The most common protocols are SMTP for the electronic mail, for the email. SMTP are the initials of Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, which is the protocol used to transmit electronic mail messages. FTP, which are the initials of File Transfer Protocol, to transmit, to share files. And finally, HTTP, which are the initials of Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Well, which is the typical protocol, the main protocol of the World Wide Web. But the internet and the World Wide Web are not the same. When we are talking about the internet, we are talking about a computer network, a network of networks, of smaller networks, connected through the TCP/IP protocols, thanks to the TCP/IP protocols. World Wide Web was developed later. Well, we will talk about the development of World Wide Web in a minute, but before, let me talk about the concept of hypertext, because it's crucial, it's very important to understand the onset of the World Wide Web. Hypertext implies the connection between different contents. The father of this concept was named Vannevar Bush. This man, he was an engineer, an American engineer, that in 1940s he invented a system. He imagined a machine that could share, that could make relations between all the developments, the contents created by humanity, by mankind, in the same way that the brain operates. So he imagined a machine where there could be stored films, books, articles, whatever, and a system of relations by meanings, just by meanings. Of course, this machine was never been invented, was never been built. In fact, it was just an invention, but it was the precedent. It was the first attempt to develop this concept, the concept of the hypertext. The man who named the hypertext as the relation between different concepts, different contents, was a man named Ted Nelson. And the real inventor, the real developer of the hypertext, who joined this concept to the computer network, to the internet, was Tim Berners-Lee, a physicist who works in CERN, which is the European Center of Research, of Particle Research, which is a research center located in Switzerland. Tim Berners-Lee was the inventor of the World Wide Web, which is a system that takes the features of the internet, remember the distributed architecture, the interactivity, and the combination of synchronic and asynchronic contents, and add these features to the main features of the hypertext. So the World Wide Web has the internet features, the main internet features, the features of the hypertext, and also the multimedia integration. And well, this is the origin of the World Wide Web, which is the internet we use today, and which has been a big revolution, and it has revolutionized the way we communicate.